Good morning, Turfs Up Radio. Wayne Voles, Profits Unlimited, coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, indeedy. Oh my goodness, we got a great show planned today. We going to have Katie on here with me here in a little bit. Looking forward to that. And Daniel might hop on here with us. He's got a little thing he's taking care of. So just looking forward to a good Friday. Can y'all believe it? Here we are, another week. Another week is in the books. It's hard to believe, but yes, it is. And it's Friday the 13th. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Daniel talked about that on his show, and Aaron talked about it. I think he touched a little bit on it. Maybe I can't remember. It was only a few hours ago, but yeah, we've had a good show lineup this morning between Aaron kicking us all off, and Eric and Jennifer, and then Daniel, and here we go with Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio. Yeah, got a great show. We're gonna have some fun today. We also got some serious things to talk about, and not sure what our truth bomb may be today. I mean, I've got it, but I'm not sure. You know, a lot of times it just seems like we get to talking about things, and my truth bomb that was turns into the truth bomb that was and is. So we'll see how that all works out. But yeah, that didn't come out right, but y'all know what I'm getting at. Sometimes we change it mid flow, we redirect that cell, if you will. So, but hey, we are going to have a great time, great show. It's we had a little shower this morning, and nothing much, but it was like one shower in part of Jefferson County here. And oh my God, it's like, really, come on, man. Today's supposed to be a nice day. We've had a string of nice days. I will say that. It's been really nice having some decent weather to send everybody out in and get work done, and know that, hey, we ain't got to worry about rain in 2 hours or 2.5 hours or 3 hours or whatever. So I don't know. It looks like that wet pattern, more of a summertime pattern coming back next week, where it's not going to be raining all day. It doesn't look like, but we're going to have some afternoon showers potentially. So we'll see how that all pans out. I'm going to see if I can. I reached out to Matt and Brett with BAM Weather, see if we can't get one of them on with us first of the week. So hopefully that'll work out. I know they've been rolling hot, just with everything going on that they got going on. So yeah, try to get them on. It's been about a week and a half since we've had anybody on, but we have got the world famous Katie on with us today. Hello, Katie.
Hello, everyone.
And it's great to have you on with us, Seth. Appreciate you listening, my friend. Appreciate you shooting us a text, letting us know you're out there. We've got one listener for sure. So there we go. There we go. So, but no, I know you guys are out there listening to us in your headsets and all. But Seth, I appreciate the text. And as we're going along today, anything you guys want to get involved in with us, feel free to shoot me a text. And because you guys, y'all make the world go round is what it amounts to, and I sincerely mean that. Curious what you guys have got going on today. It's Friday. Yes, indeedy. So, yeah, Craig, Katie's on Friday the 13th. What do you think of
I don't
that?
know what that means, but
Is that
here we are.
scary? But
Guess it depends on who you are.
yeah, yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, we're looking forward to getting Katie's input on a lot of our fun things we got to talk about here. Craig, appreciate you listening. Craig reached out to me this morning, and they got 3 inches of rain down there in Charlotte overnight. It's I don't know if that's got y'all shut down completely today, but it's probably got you messed up just a little bit on doing some things for sure. So he said he thinks they're trying to catch up with us here in Louisville, and even just a little south of us, man. I mean, uh, probably 85, 90 miles south of us, down in where Green River Lake State Park is, to be specific. Uh, they've had almost 10 inches more rain there than we've had here in Louisville. So I think last time I looked, they were at like 40 inches for the season. and we're at like 30 or we're above that now. But I mean, and we're going to have some more rain tonight. Looks like so. We'll see how all that pans out. But hey, welcome to Seattle, Washington, where it rains all the time. I'm just curious. I wonder if it's raining out there this much, or if if it's kind of changed. It's a question for Matt and Brett when they get on with us. So that's what we'll do. That's what we're going to do. And but yeah, Friday the 13th. A lot of superstitions around that. We'll touch base a little bit on that, but want to talk and tell. I'm sure we got a joke or two somewhere surrounded around that. But speaking of jokes, I got a dad joke. Being that it's Father's Day weekend.
Father's Day.
Yeah, yeah, true that. I remember that card you got.
Raise your hand if you're going to take a nap on the couch, or excuse me, rest your eyes.
Yeah, probably at some point. I mean, I really don't doze on the couch as much as I used to, you know, but I really don't. Uh, Mike says must have the rain as the lake saying, yeah, it is, man. It is something else to say the least. But I mean, sometimes I do kind of doze my eyes, but not like I used to. I don't know if
Have you
it's
made it through a movie yet
yeah.
recently?
Oh yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you sure? I feel
I
like we need
swear.
to set up a camera and
No, you asked Tabitha. She will not lie. Yes. She what? She wouldn't lie about that for me. Not unless I ask her to. But seriously, I mean I do doze off sometimes, but not a lot. But anyways, well it's not make fun of dad weekend.
I feel like it's more make fun of
Kyle
that
said
to show
why?
show how much we appreciate you in our lives.
How much that's cute. That was one of our constant contacts marketing pieces Katie sent out, had that on her. That was funny. But I do have a dad joke though.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Why did the mushroom not invite the cactus to the party?
Because it was a prick.
No, but that's a really good answer. That is the same answer Tabitha gave, but that wasn't a punchline that I got with it. Yes, Kyle got it. He's not a fun guy. But yeah, they're both of them are good.
Good answer.
Good answer. Woohoo. Yeah.
Speaking of good answers, I'm pretty sure we've told this story before, but just because it's Father's Day, we'll tell it again. We were playing Family Feud in the car one day, and I swear to God, Dad could not get any answers. Just every question, no answers. I felt bad for him, honestly. No answers on the card. You know how they have the top 5 answers or whatever, Like
Yeah.
he would never get one of the answers. And it just got funnier and funnier every time he did it.
I remember it was Christmas Eve and we were coming back from grandma's. I remember that 100%. But I have gotten much better at that. I watch that about every night now, practicing for the next time we play.
A girl I went to high school with, her family got on and they won all 5 days.
Oh, cool. That'd be really neat.
There's a show on I want to say it's Hulu, but it might not be. But the very first episode is actually about a guy that goes on Family Feud with his family and he ends up murdering his wife. Not anything related to Family Feud. It's just the fact that
Like in real life.
he was on Family Feud and yeah. And one of the questions was something about like, I don't remember exactly what the question was, so I don't want to mess it up. But basically, he implied on national television that marrying his wife was the biggest regret of his life and like a mistake. And then he ends up murdering her later in his life.
Poor thought on that.
Yeah, so that was like foreshadowing at its best, Shakespearean right there.
Oh my!
Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
No, we don't want to run our Friday the 13th. No, that is a
Well,
Friday.
this is a Friday the 13th.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go through everything Daniel talked about on his show, but about the superstition and all. But a lot of it does relate back to religious stuff. And what I found, Daniel, was pretty neat. And you might have said this. I was kind of working a little bit while you were doing your show. Like Northern, where you went to school, they were the Norse, right?
Yeah.
I found something on Norse on that.
Yeah.
It
I
was
did say something about it, but it might not be the same.
okay. And I thought, oh damn, that's cool. That was your all's mascot or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is a Norse?
It's like a Norseman, I guess, or a Norse woman. It's like, yeah, like the of the Norwegian, Scandinavian, that region. Icelandicia.
Oh,
I don't know. Is
damn.
that wait, is Iceland a country? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Isn't that
What's I was thinking, what do they call like the
no?
region though? There's a no, it's not Scandinavia, is it? Because that's a country. There's like a
Nova Scotia?
that's no, that's in Canada.
Oh.
Daniel, you're really good at maps.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are too, Kate.
No,
You
I'm
can
not.
get to work now without GPS.
That's true. Kyle and I did this thing where we thought about if we could identify the states, just like if they gave us a picture of the state disjointed from the rest of the
Map.
states, and we didn't do well for the first few. But there were a lot we got, but there were majority we were like, that's Colorado. Wait, that's Colorado. Wait, that's Colorado.
God,
It was very funny.
I
Okay, so here was the question on Family Feud. What's the biggest mistake you made at your wedding?
And he said Mary.
he said getting
He
married.
said, honey, I love you, but saying I do. And Steve Harvey was like,
What do you even do in that situation?
Um,
and then he ends up murdering his wife. So that ended up.
what was his answer again? Honey, I love you.
He said, honey, I love you. And then he turned to Steve Harvey and said, saying I do was
Oh
the biggest
my-
mistake at his wedding.
And then he ended up
Good
It's got to be
answer.
top five, but here's what a Norse is. It's either the Norwegian language
Golly.
or Norwegians or Scandinavians, especially of medieval times. So it's
Okay.
just people of that region.
All right. That's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. Huh. All right. Well, the religious side of the 13th, it's the suspicion side. They said it likely stands from a religious and cultural beliefs, like I said. But here's the cool thing about it 13 is often associated with bad luck because Judas was the 13th apostle that showed up for the Last Supper.
Okay, I was going to say, was it in order of arrival,
Well-
alphabetical? What was the situation?
Wait, was he the
Just says he was the 13th guest.
13th guest, including Jesus, right?
Yeah,
So he
'cause
would
there
have
were-
been the 12th.
Yeah, he's the
12
12th apostle. Yeah.
Yeah, there was only 12 apostles, right? Matthew,
Yeah.
Mark, Luke, John.
Are apostles different than disciples now?
I don't
confusing
know.
myself.
Honestly, I don't know.
I don't know, but collectively we've got about 40
Here, I'll
years of
Google it.
Catholic private education, and we're not sure. So that's really good.
Honestly, don't know, don't care.
No,
That's-
I know. I don't either. I mean, hey, my mom and dad spent the money too, just like me and your mom did, for you all. So I know there were 12 apostles.
Apostles are individuals chosen by Jesus to spread the gospel, while disciples are followers of Jesus
Okay, so there are
who
12
are dedicated
apostles.
to learning from him.
Oh my God. Kyle's complaining that
Yeah.
he didn't get
Yeah,
the-
we got like second rate Catholic education. And
Y'all
still
got
trying-
high school Catholic private
Y'all
education.
probably also
You
went
just
to
didn't.
CCD or
We
whatever.
did. And here's how seriously Kyle took that. He literally pants someone in the CCD pickup line.
He did what?
He pants Austin or somebody
Fine in the
in the
pickup
CCD
line.
pickup line.
The pickup line is free range.
No, I remember this. Mom picking us up in the minivan.
It's fine in the pickup line. It's fine.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Lord,
shoot.
memories.
You know what? Something else about the 13 thing in Harry Potter
Mhm.
in the third book, the divination teacher, the one who has the prophecies or
Mhm.
whatever. There's a thing in that book that says the 13th that when 13 die, they dine together. The first to rise is the first to die. So maybe coming
Did
from
that come to fruition?
yes, technically, because Dumbledore died. Even though there was only 12 people like at the table before she got there, they didn't know that Pettigrew was there as the rat. So when
So there were
Trelawney came to
13
the table,
people.
he got up, and so he died first.
Damn.
Pretty crazy.
I think it's amazing how you all
Really
know
harmless.
this. This is why we're so efficient around here with our business.
Here's
I've
what.
listened to these books for the last 2 years, like 10 times.
Do you have the illustrated books? I think those would be
No.
pretty cool to have. They'd be a total waste of space and money, but I think they'd be cool. Like maybe I'll go to a Barnes and Noble one day and just sit and read them while I'm there.
Somebody sold a first edition Sorcerer's Stone for
There's
like
just pictures
$40,000
with the words.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not all illustrations. It's not like comic book style.
Is it like so it's the full book, you say?
Yeah, but
With
it's a
pictures?
bunch of illustrations in it,
Hmm.
which is cool. But what I like about Friday the 13th is that there's Tuesday the 17th.
Yes. If you
So
know
if you're a
that.
psych fan,
Camp Tsikihama
where you are spreads out near
stretches out far.
or something like that. I don't know. We're about as accurate as the guy singing it on the show was.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
And I'm pretty sure for reference that is called Tuesday the 17th.
Yeah.
That
Pretty sure it is.
episode. It's really good if you want to watch it.
So the Father's Day tradition,
Season 3,
everybody's
episode
talking
15.
about like, the Friday the 13th tradition. Where did Father's Day tradition come from? Won't somebody Google that real quick? I mean,
I don't understand the question. Why
when-
do we
when did it
celebrate Father's
start?
Day?
yeah, when did that become a thing?
What day, when,
Yeah.
what year, who did
Like
it?
who decided we're going to
I'll
have?
ask Siri real quick.
Because now every day is something,
Yeah, it's like ice cream day or
tie your shoe the opposite direction day, and but
strawberry shortcake day. It started in the
no, we're not Velcroing shoes. And by the way, I want everybody to know that if I could show you, I'd show you. But I've got a new pair of New Balance. I've got the New Balance, the New Balance.
The new news.
So I'm more in like out of the old dad club and into the new hip club.
Here's the history. In 1909, while listening to a Mother's Day ceremony, Sonora Smart Dodd felt that fathers deserved a similar holiday. She was inspired by her own father, William Jackson Smart, a Civil War veteran and a single parent who raised Sonora and her 5 siblings after their mother died. She proposed the idea of Father's Day to local churches, the YMCA, shopkeepers, and government officials. First official Father's Day was celebrated on June 19th, 1910 in Spokane.
That's something. Well, there you go. There's the origin. And speaking of Father's Day, we got a nice little Father's Day gig planned up here for the Voles family. I hope you guys have got something on. Shoot me a text and let me know what you guys are doing for Father's Day. We'll talk about that too a little bit here. But I know we're going to Kyle's and we're going to do a little grilling out on his he's got a Blackstone and a Holland. So I'm sure we'll fire both them grills up and have a little good Nathan dog, right, Katie?
Better be Nathan's.
We'll get Aaron Walls up so he can practice.
Yeah, Aaron,
Yeah,
bring your
Aaron.
cart.
Yeah, that's right. He's listening to us. So
I told him I'd go in 20% on his hot dog
hot
cart.
dog cart,
10%. Or I don't know what I said.
some kind of percentage. I think that'd be fun. I'll go in with you on there. I mean, Aaron, if you're looking for investors, I'd be happy to go in
Or to
with
go
Daniel
funny
as
for
well.
Aaron's.
And we don't need to go fund. We don't want too many
cart.
people
Yeah,
in.
we want. This is more of a. What is it called when people raise money?
Kyle
for their
suggested the
business?
name Wally's Wieners.
I think I said Wally Dogs.
It's good.
Wally dogs. And he could have a purple bun.
Yeah,
Why? Wouldn't that be cool?
it'd be unique for sure.
It'd be unique. Have a purple bun.
What's it going to be? Is it going to be dyed or is it going to be made of beets? I mean, what's the situation?
I don't know.
It's got to be Beats. If I'm investing, it has to be natural.
Daniel's all natural minus the dog, unless it's. I don't know. What would be your exception?
Unless it's I don't know. Red Dye 40.
There you go. Hey.
Oh God.
That's interesting.
We're taking this all the way to the top.
Yeah.
I'll go to Washington.
Did you going to Aaron with it?
We just did.
Oh,
This is like we're like the panel on Shark Tank right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Aaron, do you accept our proposal?
oh my God.
Do you accept our terms?
Aaron said set up a GoBundMe
Oh
account.
my God.
No, we don't need that, Aaron.
What's it?
We're
I know
good.
somebody in this room or listening knows what I'm talking about when it's like when people say that this business was funded. It's kind of like crowdfunding, but there's like a specific thing that people always like talk about. It's like a GoFundMe for businesses. I can't remember what it's called. Yes.
Venture
Is that what
capital?
the thing is called? I don't know.
You mean the event?
I don't know if it's an event, but
Well, I mean like a I'm trying to
It's like
think
a
of.
business
Yeah.
that raises money for business. It's like a pyramid scheme.
You're missing. No, I think it is venture capitalism.
I don't know. We could definitely look it up. Y'all
Aaron, I wouldn't Google GoBundMe.
Oh, really? That's probably true.
I'm gonna spit out my drink. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Oh my God. So anyway, speaking of Friday the 13th, I had some shingles blown off my roof, but it wasn't Friday, today, but that's kind of a Friday the 13th event, something weird that would
Did
happen.
you all hear that Louisville snow leopard died?
I did see that.
They were 14 years old.
Yep. 13 years old and it died on the 12th.
Oh,
This says it was 14.
Oh, was it 14?
Yeah.
maybe it was.
Well,
that
I'm
on
sure
12.
that's right.
So then 14 plus 12 divided by 2 is 13.
13 at
Friday
the
13th.
average age and date. I don't know. I've heard it both ways. But anyways, so hey, when we were talking about Father's Day earlier, and you mentioned love language.
Mm-hmm.
That love language is different for different things, and
Yeah.
let's talk about that for a minute.
So, who was it this morning? And I'm really apologize for forgetting your name. I'm just not all there.
Jennifer and Eric.
Yeah. So they were talking about, not all people want. It's called words of affirmation. Not all people want gifts. You gotta. Number one, you need to know what your love language is. So what that means is, how do you like for people to show love to you? What makes you say, like, oh, that person did or said this, so it makes me feel like they love me? Or how do you show love to people? And I was telling Wayne that his is definitely acts of service and giving gifts. Like, oh, I was out and I saw this and thought of you, so I got it. Or, oh, you need help putting up your da 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 da. Okay, I'll come help. Or I'll call so and so to come help, like whatever. That's, I think, how you show love to other people. But I said, how do you like to feel love? Have you thought about that yet? So here's the 5 official categories, or love languages, they call them. Acts of service. And you
Really?
can take a short quiz. It's really simple. Online, just Google love language quiz and you'll find it. Acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time. That's another big one for you, I feel like, is quality time.
Yeah.
Words of affirmation. And
That
physical
means like
touch.
coming back, like coming to see me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that must be why I'm on the bottom of the list.
What?
Remember the time you said, okay, well, if you want to come by, because I was over near you.
Oh yeah,
I
you were
said,
like,
I'm not
4
coming
feet
back.
away, and you said I'm not coming back.
And then later you said, I went and unlocked the door just in case you came by. And I said, I told you I wasn't going to come by. So anyway, and I also think that these can change, whether that's just as you grow up or whether,
Because you feel sorry for me is why they would change and you would come by, or what?
no,
No,
I'm saying
yours would
yours.
change, not
like,
Oh, the
happening.
person.
maybe when you were younger, yours might have been gift receiving or acts of service or words
Oh,
of
okay.
affirmation because you needed that to feel good, to like quote unquote boost your ego.
Okay.
But now yours is definitely quality time,
Yeah, that's true.
What do you think yours is, Dan?
I don't know.
Kyle, physical touch.
Yeah.
Daniel, let me just go ahead and mark that off the list for Daniel. We air high five and I'm his sister, so sometimes sometimes he turns away when I try to air high five him or air chest bump.
Who do you
He's
think's
still-
worse, him or him or Holly?
Oh, him for sure.
Okay, because Holly don't like hugging much at
No.
all,
No.
and Sherry, my sister, hates it.
Oh my God, I know. That one year I asked for my Christmas gift to be Holly to give me a hug.
Good.
But and that's funny is that over I would say the past 3 to 5 years, I feel like I'm not as big on physical touch as I used to be. Like I used to be all in for some hugs.
Maybe because you have Beckett now, and
Maybe.
she's always snuggled up, so it's like I'm
Like,
I'm
please
here
give me
full.
space. Yeah. Could be. That's a good point.
Beckett?
Yeah, my love language used to be physical touch. That's how I showed love and like people to, hug me or whatever. But I would say that's definitely changed.
I gotcha. Love language. That's probably true. I do like to do things for people, and
That's how you show love, and the way you want to be shown love, I think, is quality time.
yeah,
That would
That
be
might
Yeah, I
your
be-
think
top
that's
ones.
right.
that might be. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Kyle, how do you like to, besides triple kisses? It was so funny. I never noticed this until probably about 3 years ago that Kyle and his wife always kiss 3 times when they leave. I wasn't sure if it was like an OCD thing or like a special thing that they did together, but now I just call it, okay, triple kiss.
OCD.
So, what do you think your love language is? Acts of service. How do you like for people to show that they love you? Acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, words of affirmation, or physical touch? Think about it.
That's-
TBD on Kyle's and Daniel's.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I love you. Words of affirmation.
Oh God,
McAllister
yeah,
style.
true that. Daniel's love language is going to be getting his door in today.
True that.
Maybe they are there. They did
Oh,
arrive.
praise
They
Jesus.
did arrive finally.
Caitlin said it was raining.
You should have borrowed our what's that thing that throws treats out to Beckett? We haven't
Oh my
used it in
God.
forever, but it has a camera in it. We could have turned it on and watched and listened the whole
I
time.
thought you were gonna say to throw treats at them, and they did a good job.
throw tax at them. Get back to work. Oh my God, what Furbo?
Yeah,
Y'all know the trials and tribulations he's been going through. I think we might have even talked about it here.
yeah.
I
But
can't
Sure. I
imagine
think
we
every
haven't.
time a door is supposed to go in, you mentioned it.
Yeah. Well, but just because it's jacked up, man. I mean,
Yeah, hopefully I don't have this much problem
after the fact.
with my other thing.
Your roof
my
or ceiling or
Ceiling
whatever.
thing.
Yeah, it won't be. We're going to think positive, right?
Think dry thoughts.
So, come on. Nobody has sent me anything that they're doing this weekend for Father's Day
Or just
You know,
this weekend.
or this weekend. Yeah.
Maybe you just want to
Or what's your love language? Tell us
Yeah.
that.
tell us your love language. Acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch. And again,
Mike said, here, I'm going to let you interpret that, the bottom three.
he said, who doesn't love gifts? Okay. Gifts. My wife's love language is gifts. Kyle, listen to this. Which out of all the languages, gifts are the most sus.
Oh, that's our buddy
true.
Mike, Mr.
True.
Mike Murphy.
Everybody likes gifts, but I think it's more like not like, oh, it's my birthday, get me a big expensive gift, but like one thing that I do for myself is flowers. At any time I'm at the grocery or if I go to a craft fair. What? Kyle said, all right, Miley. And if you don't know that reference, Google Miley Cyrus flowers. But no, that's something I really like. I really like, is just getting a small bouquet of flowers. So it's not necessarily always, big gifts or whatever. And we're not my super sweet 16 in it here all the time or anything, but little
Yeah.
things like what you do. Like, oh, I saw this miniature bottle of ketchup and I know you love things that are tiny,
Yeah.
or like I saw this purple stuffed
Stapler.
moose and I thought of Aaron Walls, so I mailed it to him,
Yeah, that is true.
Stapler. I take that too. Got a boring blue one over there.
Oh, God.
Mike said his love language, seriously, is physical touch or fast food.
Oh, my God.
Let's see what category it would fast
Fast
food.
food.
Receiving gifts
Receiving
underscore
gifts.
part
you
one
know,
part 1B fast food.
specifically double
Funny.
cheese White Castles. No, he didn't say
I was
that.
going to say what? It's
Let's see.
crazy.
Does White Castle do a double burger?
I think they do.
Yeah, they got a double hamburger. And
Which
that's
still
where
means
they
you're getting
it's
about
still
0.1
equivalent
ounces
to like
of
no
meat,
one else's regular size burger.
No, God, they did just take that can of meat spray and spray it on 2 buns. Let's see. Stephen West says, simple Father's Day request for my wife and daughter. Let me lay on the couch, drink a beer, and watch the U.S. Open.
No, I was going to say that and probably leave you alone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like be quiet, sit there quietly or don't be in the room. So how about this?
To be out of the house.
Kyle will come over to Steven's house and you all can do that together. And Steven, you send your wife and daughter to Kyle's house.
That way they both be.
That way everybody gets
have
what
them-
they want.
Yeah. I could operate the Blackstone.
The grill.
Yeah.
Look, we got we can figure out how to roast some Nathans.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Katie's a fixed on Nathan hot
They're
dogs.
just the superior dog. Nathan's are bust, Aaron. Nathan's are bust.
Don't get Aaron started on the.
All you got's a guaranteed piece of shit.
Yeah, that's yeah. That is from the world famous Tommy Boy that y'all don't know. That is my favorite movie
But
of all time.
also,
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't
don't.
looked
You don't
recently,
see
but I
anything
don't
name
think
brand in
so.
Costco.
Yes, huh? Most stuff is like national brands.
I know. I was just firing y'all up. I do get
Maybe
my
he's at
Jeff
the big
Peanut.
lots of Costco. I don't know where he's
He's at
shopping,
Damn.
but
No,
yeah.
Sherry makes me go to the dollar store, Dollar Tree.
Okay, congrats. Now, you got to pay attention because sometimes those aren't always deals. Sometimes you only get like 10 plates for $1 where you could spend $3 at Kroger and get 49 plates. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I
So you
know.
really got to pay attention to that
Oh,
stuff.
I don't go to the Dollar
But,
Tree. You buy shit at the Dollar Tree. Your paper plates are about as thick as this.
Mhm.
Yeah, you
Alyssa
get 100
actually-
rolls of toilet paper for $9, but it takes 300 feet to wipe your butt.
Yeah.
You
one
know,
time.
one time.
One
You know,
right through.
no pun intended.
I think that is something really important, though, what Steven said about, honestly, just having some alone time, not necessarily like kicking your family out, but I think that is something that's really important for everybody, but especially parents, is to have time as a person and not just a mom or a dad. So if you're in a relationship or you're best friends with someone, like I think having some me time truly is a gift that cannot be replaced and they probably want but won't ask for. So like, hey,
So are you saying like, I
let's
would
say
like
mom
to
was
be
still
alone?
around. Let's say mom
Well, it's not about being alone. It's about doing something she want to do. Like Kyle likes to golf.
yes.
Leslie likes to run.
And they give each other time and space to do that without saying, well, take one of the kids with you.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Get it.
like,
Okay.
yeah, like give them time to be a person and not just a parent, because I think that gets lost a lot of times.
Yeah, I hear you. No, that is true, and that's really solid.
And that's why I don't
solid
mind, like
advice.
I don't mind like for Kyle's anniversary a couple years ago, I gave him a card that said your gift is a coupon for babysitting. Blackout dates apply. Da, 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 da. But
Blackout dates.
like I don't care if you want to go sit in your
Anytime
car.
between 6:30 and 9, I'll be available.
Exactly. Go sit in your car at the around the corner so the kids can't see you. I don't care where you go or what you actually do.
He said they missed the 30-minute window of the non-blackout date.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Mike said something on this. He says, I don't know if they got a double burger or not, but why start self-serving respect now?
True that.
So he said actually he loves White Castles, but his favorite is Raising Cane's, but don't tell Daniel.
I don't mind
I've
those
seen-
chicken places, but a lot of times they just make my stomach hurt because it's so greasy.
Greasy. I agree. I had Cane's once. There was one at UK not far from where I was. And I think also for most people, your your capacities as a 18 to 23-year-old is so much different than, after that.
Yeah.
But I agree. Once I had it again, I was like, dang, that was like a lot. Like I don't feel good after eating this.
Yeah.
And it's not that I was like gave up fast food. It was just specifically like you said, I just felt like it was so greasy after the fact. But their cane sauce, chef's kiss.
Didn't that
I know.
supposedly come from a business course at UK with some
It
students?
came from
No,
a
it was, I
business
think,
course
LSU.
somewhere.
Or
Yeah.
LSU.
I'm pretty sure their professor told them it wouldn't work. So
Yes.
only one type of food.
Yeah, and yeah,
Jokes on him. I think they sent him like a lifetime gift card to Cane's or something.
on. We're just so there's not y'all wonder what's going on right now.
And we do it good.
Yeah.
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 Keeps it simple.
Kyle's talking about their
Yeah.
business model and why it works.
Why
just
they don't diversify.
and why they
basically.
don't diversify.
Speaking of
so far.
diversification, I've seen this on TV and actually Spotify is where I first saw it. But I can't remember who I saw first, and I don't know if it was in a response to the other one, but let's say it was Taco Bell first, they brought back their chicken nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
And so later, a few weeks later, I saw that what's the chicken place? Not Kane, not Lee's.
Popeyes.
The ones that has the salads that Kyle likes.
Oh, Zaxby's.
Zaxby's.
Zaxby's brought a quesadilla.
Zaxby's.
Mm.
So it's like completely opposite business models. Let's go from chicken to Mexican,
Mhm.
you know?
I don't know. I don't know. This is
Somebody said that recently, and then
what's that?
somebody in the zip code said that.
You did pant someone, yes.
What do you mean your books didn't get unbound? Kyle's
He has selective
needs a
memory.
headset. See,
He's the scapegoat of the stories.
Daniel will not, or Kyle will not get a headset on. But yeah,
I swear you said that one time, but maybe it wasn't you. It was somebody in this zip code.
but anyways, we are kind of, this is almost like off the rails, but Katie and Daniel are going to do an off the rails edition here soon. But
Yeah, I know you all missed that. Lots of people been texting in about it. We'll kick Wayne off one day.
Heck yeah. Well, normally
Usually
it's
he's
lake
gone.
season,
I know, I know.
but we can't go to the lake because it's flooded and it's
And
only going to get worse down there.
Flooded.
I know the lake's bigger than ever. Can't even enjoy it.
That's funny.
And that so Daniel supposedly we'll need to fact check this. I was leaving yesterday and I said, Dad, enjoy your pickleball lesson.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
And supposedly it wasn't for beginners.
It what? Not
see,
supposedly.
no.
I'm telling you the
This is
truth.
why we need to hold Turfs Up Radio needs to hold him accountable to make
Yeah.
sure he does go
Yeah,
Thursday.
do you all hear us? Hear us?
Text him Thursday all day long. Everyone say
Go to
have fun
pickleball.
at pickleball. You know,
Lace up your
stretch before
New
pickleball.
Balances.
Don't forget about pickleball.
My
All the
New
things.
Balance. Yes, if you want to get into the harassment ceremony of Wayne,
No, we're just nagging you because we want you to do it.
Kyle calls them high lift hokas. Oh my God.
You gotta wear-
They are the most comfortable tennis shoe I've
The
ever
home
put on.
videos of them playing basketball on the VHSs. The
Yes.
tapes where
At Glenn
Honestly,
and Shelley's when we were little.
I think we should recreate that outfit with the
When
lost
we were
dogs.
little,
and the
when
short-
y'all
Oh
were
my
little.
God, yes, I'm in there.
The tube socks like
Yeah.
up to there, so you can see how high they came.
Yeah, and the short shorts and the
If you didn't already see it, you've missed it because it's been updated. But Darren texted Wayne this morning for an updated photo, and so I pulled it up to see what it was. And I said, Dad, I think all of us were still living at the house when you took this photo. And Kyle said, I don't even think all of the kids were alive yet.
Holly might not have been.
Oh shoot! So if you didn't see it, you missed it. But
The
'cause it's
harassment.
updated now. But
You know. Oh well, nothing else that shows the love. You
we
know.
just want you to go to pickleball.
Oh, I do too. It's fun.
here's the thing though, Kyle, you have pickleball courts, right?
It's going to be fun.
Wear your sneaks on Sunday.
We'll do a little practice round.
They've got balls and paddles or whatever they're called.
Probably paddles.
Oh, perfect. Well, we'll get some.
They're
I'll pick them
probably in
and
the
bring
pond or
them.
something.
We'll just get pickles. Exactly. I saw it was probably
They are
AI.
tough. They are very tough crowd.
It was probably AI, but I saw a post where it was like, what if you like actually played with the like shape of like the ball?
It was a pickle.
It was a pickle, like a football was shaped like a foot,
Foot.
instead of
Soccer
the
was shaped like
a soccer.
soccer.
Seth said y'all should be a little nicer to me.
Oh my
Said
God.
y'all are
I have
tough
to
crowd.
nag you.
Yeah, to
Or
do
else-
it.
You'll forget.
I know it only took y'all like 14 years for
Oh
to get
God.
me to do my hip.
Yeah, exactly. See, Seth, it wouldn't take
If
him.
another 14 years, you're not going to be able to play.
Yeah,
pickleball.
exactly. So if he goes at the current speed, we'll never play pickleball. We'll be cremating him in his hokas and his shorts and a pickleball.
Oh my
Whacker.
goodness. Damn. Happy Father's Day. There it is. There.
Kyle just sent us a text and it says,
Oh my God. Let's see.
"Is this who's doing Daniel's door?" And the name of the company is Couple More Days Construction. It says we're always almost done.
Oh my God.
If only that were the case, it should be for my situation. We're always almost there.
Yeah.
Oh
Almost
my
your
God.
construction company.
That's hilarious. You talk about a business model.
Well, speaking of business model, Caitlin said that this particular company didn't have any name on their truck or anything.
A lot of subcontractors
Yeah.
go that way
Yeah, but I mean, still, it's
because
like
they work for different.
makes you,
It's okay. That's why.
yeah, it just makes you feel like you're getting somebody that just
Gary
hires
Budd,
for
look
the-
how good he is, and he doesn't have anything on his truck,
yeah.
and he rolls around. So a lot of subs don't put their name on. And when it comes to lawn and landscaping subs, a lot of them are scared to put their name on the side of their trucks. But Daniel or Kyle, that's hilarious. Oh my God. But Mike said when it comes to raising canes, Daniel, he said cholesterol has a very special place in his heart.
Oh my God,
Literally.
literally.
He is a pretty funny fella. A mushroom would invite Mike to the party because he is a fun guy.
Because
There you
he's
go.
not a prick.
Oh gosh. But true that. True that. Speaking of customers that aren't too nice sometimes, I want to thank our Matt for getting my landscape done at my house yesterday. That doesn't, it's kind of like when you're a barber or anything, your stuff's the last to get done. Do you guys have that same problem with your alls? I'm just curious. Everybody listening to us, we really are off the rails today from our normal profit time show, but
I think that's a very common thing for a lot of industries, but interestingly, and I think there's a very obvious reason for this, fitness is almost completely opposite of that.
because you're there doing it for somebody with them.
Well, that, but also because you are your billboard,
Oh,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
that you are your biggest piece of marketing, especially in today's age of social media and everybody posting, their bodies and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Like you won't see or very rarely see an out of shape person as a personal trainer and they're just like, oh, well, I don't have time for it. Right? Like the whole ordeal of fitness is make time and do this, do that. If you're not doing that for yourself, no one's going to be like, oh, you must know what you're talking about.
Right.
So it's very different from other service related industries in that way.
Dang, that's a good point, Daniel. It really is. I mean, if for me, for an example, if I said I did personal fitness and somebody looked at my profile picture, they'd be like,
They say you personally fit in this raising canes in your mouth.
yeah.
These double burger White Castles.
Yeah.
Side note, I was scrolling through Facebook just now just to see what fun pops up, A semi has gone over the side of 65 South at the Kennedy Bridge. And it's on fire.
Oh, wow.
Over the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Overpass.
Oh my God.
And a car caught fire right near where I live yesterday. Thank God I missed it on my way home. Sometime between when I got home and literally I left an hour later for an event that I went to, a car had caught fire and been put out
Wow.
Damn.
right by WW Cousins.
Nice.
I can see that. Because that doesn't last too long. But
But it was crispy.
Mike said, true that, Daniel, on your image thing. He said, just ask Tony Perkins.
Oh my God, Katie. Katie was not paying attention.
Tony Perkins.
The Perkins system.
We're going to do
damn.
it together.
Seth sent a picture of his house. He said he keeps his looking good because he uses it to show his customers on
There you go.
on plants and stuff. So
That's smart.
that looks nice, man. Yeah. He said I demo different plants, lighting in it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that looks really nice, Seth. Mine is I really didn't get landscaping done yesterday. I got maintenance done yesterday. I had some burning bushes that were about 3.5 feet tall that are now reduced to about 20 inches. And it's just time for that kind of work, So glad to get it done. But speaking of weird things going on, Katie, let's talk about well, before we do that, I want to talk about the Kyle for a second, since he doesn't have a headset on, and being Father's Day. He give a big shout out to Kyle. He had a record week this week for him for this year in sales.
Good job, Patrick.
Yeah.
Good job, Tiny Pat.
Little Pat.
No, you're Little Pat.
No, oh, that's right. My mom
He's
was
Tiny
Big
Pat.
I'm Little Pat, and he's Tiny Pat. That's why we don't go by our first names. We go by our middle names. But anyway, yeah, seriously, big shout out in that. And Katie, a shout out for yours. I mean, you deal with a lot of fert and weed and mows and, so it kind of goes back customer count or dollar volume, you know.
I think Kyle still has us all beat on
You know,
that on both.
Yeah. But
We're not out of the race.
we're not out of the
We're
race.
in the race.
Yeah. We're competitive.
We're hobbling down the track.
Well,
I'm
here's
not
the thing. I
hobbling down
think
the
it's more
track
like a
anymore.
relay.
My new hip.
I
Yeah.
think it's more like a relay than it is a race, right? Like a competition. I don't think everyone's racing against each other. I think you're passing the baton.
We're running around
that-
with each other.
I take the call,
Like
Yeah.
it's like a decathlon, you know?
pass it along.
Somebody's got to be the high jumper, somebody's got to be the sprinter, somebody's got to be the
You do more than
Ball
just pass it
thrower.
along, Catherine. You do a whole lot of effort.
No, there's no different, but that doesn't make you least valuable because you're the person that passes, like that does the first leg of the race. I mean, if
Right.
you don't do the first leg, you can't get to the person that finishes the race.
Yeah, the most important
So
thing that
Shouldn't
happens is
devalue
answering the phone.
yourself because you don't,
Right. Well, and
whatever part of the race you're in or whatever, event you're in.
I mean this 100%. The most important person we have is or anybody's the person that answers the phone. They make that experience either good or bad for somebody right off the bat. And speaking of bad experience,
Yes.
oh my God.
We joke around here that we're going to have to report that to HR, but I'm HR.
Yeah. So I don't know speaking of bad phone calls, guess who Kyle got the opportunity to talk to this morning?
Vollmer.
Yes. Vollmer. He only called like 9 times.
And apparently stopped Jeopardy and talked to her while she was spraying.
Oh God, today?
No.
Oh.
Earlier this week.
Oh. Lord. Poor thing. That guy's so Kyle handled him well, Oh my God. Mike said somebody gets to drive the go-kart and somebody's got to shave doubloons.
There you go.
So explain
Somebody's
that
got
to
to put
me.
the tattoos on. And
It's from heavyweights, the Perkins system. It's their thing at the end where they compete against the athletes.
Oh, okay. All right. Y'all staying with the show. I'm
Yes.
not. Thank you very much.
What's that guy's name?
Sorry, Mike, for losing
What's the
track.
guy's name that they kick out, but then they have to bring back and he does the shaving?
Josh.
Josh. Sorry to hear about your little friend Josh.
Oh my God. What a show today. We are off the rails.
What?
But not officially.
Yes.
Off the rails.
And the who's the what's his name?
Why
What's the name?
Garrett Garner.
The other goalie in Mighty Ducks.
Yes.
He's in there too.
Yeah, they're both in there.
fly like
Dolberg or something.
That's Josh probably.
Hang on.
some of
your
you guys
producer's
have
gonna look
had
it
to
up.
have seen this movie.
I know.
Oh,
but
if
it's
you-
all
if
Mighty
you
Ducks.
haven't
He's a
seen-
hockey fan.
Yeah. Quack, quack, quack.
Ducks fly together.
If you haven't seen Mighty Ducks, Heavyweights,
Tommy Boy.
what's that Tommy Boy? What's that one we were talking about Kyle just yesterday? Little Big League,
Yeah.
The football one's a good one too. One time.
Little Giant,
Little
Giants.
Giants.
one time. You beat Kevin down Cherry Hill. Look, they've got our names on them. Yeah, so the guys in the morgue can identify our bodies. Goldberg.
Oh my God. But oh my, this is something else. Speaking of
Oh,
things
yeah,
and what
somebody.
people
Here,
hear,
hang on, I'll look it up on.
Yeah. That was the second one, right? Or was that the first one?
that was where he put the Tums or something in his mouth and start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you call this? Intimidation.
Yeah.
And then he puts the stuff on his hands and he goes to
Hot hands, Hayden.
can't get his hands up. Then he tries like he put him on his chest.
You know what
and
we
off.
need to do? Forget about the second Zoom of the month. We need to start doing a movie
Movie night.
Zoom.
A movie Zoom.
Yeah.
Like a sales movie Zoom.
No, just a movie. We
Just
can
a
start
fun-
with Tommy Boy to make it
With the
fun.
profit.
But yeah,
Like a couple times a year.
yeah. And we'll watch Heavyweights and Tommy Boy.
Movie night with the profit.
My cousin Vinny, that one's freaking hilarious. That was on TV the other day. Listen,
Yeah, I watched that a while
Mom-
too.
Mom bought that for me after we wouldn't shut up about Tommy Boy. She's like, I think you'll really like this. I remember
Oh.
she bought it for me on DVD.
Was that her love language? Getting you a
Um,
DVD that you thought you'd like.
I guess, yeah.
What about
Look, this
DVDs?
says plump kids are lured into joining a posh fat camp. That's the description.
Plump kids.
Oh my god.
Hang on. It
Yeah.
gets better. Hang on. With the promise of quick weight loss and
Hold on a second before you do this. This is knowing what to say and how to say it.
Yeah, this is the description of heavyweights, which is about kids going to fat camp that are fat and they cheat the whole time. So plump kids are lured into joining a posh fat camp with the promise of quick weight loss and good times, only to find that it is a woodland hellhole run by a psycho ex fitness instructor.
Daniel Bowles. No. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I'm on my way.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
There's so many good one-liners from that, honestly.
Steven said, "Where's one line? What's a ute?" Remember that?
Yes.
My cousin Vinny.
Yes.
So you,
Oh my God.
the judge.
Yes. A youth.
Youth.
And then he tells his
This goes back to keeping things clear and concise in your business.
He tells his girlfriend not to pick him up from jail because he can't get a good night's sleep because they're right by a train that comes through at 4:30 every morning and the cows and whatever. And so he's like, don't bail me out. Maybe I'll get a good night's sleep. And he's like sleeping like a baby while the inmates are yelling behind him.
Oh my God, that is funny. Oh my. Speaking of being careful what you say and how you say it, tell everybody about what's the
situation.
Okay.
What was her name?
Spray account.
The spray account.
Okay.
We can say her name. That's okay. We're going to warn anybody that might be local listening.
We'll just call her Kay.
Okay.
All right. So
Kay has been a spray customer for a long time.
I think last week, Jeopardy was out spraying and got to her property, and she asked her not to spray because it was like barely sprinkling, and it ended up not even raining. Remember?
Yeah.
And she was like, "Don't spray; it's going to rain." So Jeopardy was like, "Okay."
We have days with higher humidity.
So Daniel and I try to stay on top of our spray applications, and if we see they have like when they get the next sap, if they already have another out, we reach out, contact them, whatever. But I was doing some of that just general cleanup work, resending invoice reminders for people's spray apps that were outstanding from the previous round. And she just happened to get one. So she left a voicemail, said, "Hey, I told Jeopardy not to spray. Looks like I got an invoice anyway. Can you check into this for me?" So I think this was Thursday. On Friday, I had that voicemail and listened to it, pulled her file, looked in the computer, and Jeopardy had not gotten round 3, and we had not sent her the invoice for round 3. It was a reminder for round 2 that was made on March 26th.
That she still hadn't paid, and our software has sent it more than one time, to say the least.
And so I called her back, and the funny thing, well, funny, haha, I guess, funny, weird, I don't know, but our power went out last Friday, as some of you all might know. So I wasn't able to I was working off my phone. I was trying to look at, our software from my phone and compare it to the file and whatever. And we keep a handwritten ledger sheet in the file of what round application we made, when we made it, when it was paid, how it was paid, and the amount that was paid. So I told her, I explained to her that it was for the round 2 application, not the round 3 that didn't have an invoice in the system because the app wasn't completed yet. And she was confused, saying, how am I still outstanding? This happened in March and you're just now telling me. And, to your point, you just said, there's no way this was our first contact. Technically, your first invoice is that sheet that we leave. It says on it, application and invoice, at the top.
Thanks, Matt.
So, and then she started giving me some hoo-ha about how, well, her flag's not always there because the kid's in the neighborhood, so she doesn't know for sure when or if it gets done. And
you don't know where her app sheet gets, because we leave by state law, and she does know. And
and she said usually it's in my paper box. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Like we leave it. I can't. It's like it's like USPS. Once it's in the mail, I have no control.
Yeah.
Once we leave it, once we put that flag in the yard, I can't help what your neighbors are doing. So anyway, I told her that our power was out, but I would send her the ledger sheet showing her what we had on file for her. in terms of what was applied and when, and it had some of last year's apps too. And so finally our power came back on about 12:30 last Friday. So I scanned it, sent it over to her. But when she was hanging up, I could tell she was getting more and more frustrated just by her tone of voice and the shortness.
And she's always been like that as a customer. And I know you guys have probably had customers like that too. And you appreciate them all, but that's always her methodology.
Yeah. It's never
she's
coming
always
from a
wanting
place
something
of
free.
like understanding and like trying to figure it out together. It's always a very accusatory.
Yeah, like, well, you didn't do it. You just hanging
Yeah.
paper out here,
Yeah. And so, she was upset about it and frustrated, which I understand. But as I told her I would scan that and email it over to her as soon as our power was back on, we started the process of hanging up. And before she actually hung up the phone and disconnected, she was clearly in a room or office with someone, and she said, "This MF and biatch thinks," and then she actually hung up. So that was exciting last
She
Friday.
thought she had hung up. And
Well, and two, now that I think about it, I don't even know. She might have known she wasn't hung up yet and started complaining.
so when I heard that,
Yeah, Dad didn't hear this side of the story until yesterday.
And I said, well, we're just going to cancel her service. We ain't going to have a customer talking to you, me, or any of us like that,
Yeah.
And I was on my way out to go grab something for lunch.
And then literally a minute and a half later after they left, she called and decided she was going to cancel.
She
said,
called.
"I'll pay you, but I'm going to cancel."
Yeah, and Katie called me and said, well, good news is you don't have to write the letter.
I said, "And you can enjoy your lunch in peace."
And you can enjoy your lunch, because she just called and canceled. And I did. It was a much better lunch knowing that she's no longer going to be a thorn in our side.
Yeah.
Isn't there some and this is more of a question for people out there too, I guess. Isn't there some sense of I don't want to call it a victory, but like a high ground though when you get to fire the person versus when they fire? In that situation when you know it's going that way anyway, I would rather at least be the one to be like, you're the problem instead of them being like, oh, you're the problem. You know?
Yeah. And I was honestly surprised. I talked to her that same day in the morning, and she had gotten her ledger sheet and she called to go over it with me. And again, we couldn't have made it more clear what was applied.
You were showing
and
it.
what was paid.
This went to round 7. This went to round 8.
She was like, well, I just still don't get it. And I'm like, I don't know how else to explain it to you than she was like, okay, well, I'll pay you, but if this happens again, Katie, and she said that a couple of times very patronizingly, then we're gonna have to, cut ways. And then not 30 minutes later, she called and canceled, which, to your all's point, was good, because the relationship at that point there was no trust on her side with
How
us.
many times does she call and complain though? Every app?
She had skipped round 3 twice. Once it was legitimate. She was having a gazebo or something built when we showed up to make the app. And then the next time was that time when she thought it was going to rain, so she told Jeopardy not to make the app. And I told her on the phone, I said, I think it's best we just go ahead and skip that round completely, move on to round 4, so you don't get confused about what round you're in or whatever, any apps that are close together back to back, because we're trying to get you caught up. And she was like, yeah, that'd be the best idea. And so we had it settled, and I knew she wasn't happy per se, but we were settled, So I wasn't surprised when she called back and canceled, but I was surprised that she didn't cancel in the first conversation, I guess.
Good riddance.
Yeah.
That's just it, man. So anyway, if any of our local lawn service guys are listening, good luck with her. We wish her the best of luck. We don't wish her any bad luck. We're just glad to have one of the 95.5 rules, Dawn. And I do honestly believe that 5% of your customers are 95% of your calls.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, how many customers do we have that, you've never heard from? And it's not that you're perfect and you don't mind complaints. I mean, hell, I mean, let's talk about that side of it. I mean, you don't mind a complaint, but we're all going to have complaints. But the reality of it is sometimes just like that, it's repetitive over and over and over and over. kind of like Mr. Vollmer,
Mm-hmm.
you know, same
Yeah.
thing.
What was it? I guess 2 weeks ago.
You know, he was really nasty to you. I think we actually talked about it a little bit. I don't know if we did.
I'm
or
not sure. Yeah, but you might have been on. No, I think you were off your show. You weren't here.
Kyle wasn't here. I was here.
Were you here for my conversation with him?
Yeah, it was Kyle's vacation.
That's right, because
It
Caitlin
was like
came in.
Thursday or something.
Yeah, yeah. Kyle was on vacation.
So, and the funny thing about this particular situation was I was literally there the whole time with them, with the team filming content, and he was out there the whole time basically watching, and we were talking, shooting the breeze. I was just talking with him. And
Where you were videoing the jackal
yes,
working.
yes.
Yeah, so we had this skag jackal that we were testing, and I mean, for you guys that know that, I mean, they're very efficient and they're fast.
Yeah.
So that was enough.
So
go ahead, you can tell the story.
It was just funny that this is a situation that I was in the field on, like I was there the whole time. And the first time he called, and said that there's basically, his complaint was basically that there's a ring around the area that we worked on for him that doesn't look like it's coming in as well, the grass. Which is going to happen. We talked about that all the time in here about how you might get some patchiness, and this is, why we don't do a whole lot of seeding in the spring to begin with. But it had been 2 or 3 weeks at that point, I think. I don't remember. I looked it up during when I had the conversation with him, and I told him, it's been this amount of time. If you look at your watering instructions, this is, what it says. And he was complaining about the mowing guy was complaining to him because of the area / he was complaining because the guy was getting mud on the driveway. And I told our customer,
why?
I said, well, the only way you're getting mud on your driveway is he's driving over the area that we have seeded.
Yeah.
Like, he shouldn't be doing that. Like, we're not getting the mud on your driveway. He is with his machine. Like, so that's not on us. And then he started wanting to complain about, well, I just wasn't expecting to get these results with the amount I paid. And he just kept going on and on. And guys, I'm probably the most patient person in this office when it comes to customer complaints. I will listen to someone complain.
Absolutely,
I listen to that lady literally bitch me out. So I had already listened to him complain a couple of times, but at this point, he was like you say all the time, he was questioning our integrity.
Yeah.
I said, we did the job. You were there. I was there watching you watch the job get done. So I know we did what we said we were going to do. You agreed upon the job and the price before we came out. You paid the deposit. That locks you in. Sorry, if you were uncomfortable about that, you shouldn't have signed the agreement.
Yeah. No, that's right. And I want to say this too. And this is the takeaway from this whole story is you did listen first to his complaint.
Yes.
You let him say what he wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
And
told him, we need to give it more time. Like, you need to give it more time to come in. We've had a very weird season weather-wise. Grass can only grow so fast. We're not going to not make it right. We will make it right. I told him we could bring seed by, or he could come get some seed if he wanted to spot seed it himself. And frankly, I thought he was upset, but I thought we left it at a decent place. Like, he understood where we were. I had listened to him, like you said. And then Jeopardy was out this week, and he was doing the same spiel to her.
Yeah.
And she came back and told me about it. And I was like,
I think they're just wanting people to get two different. It's like dad didn't say yes, so go ask mom. Go ask mom. And now I'm going to try to get a different answer so I can call in and say, well, they said, that's one of the things, Daniel, we talk about our video, right? That's one of the things, as you do scale your company and you got multiple people potentially providing different services for the same client, you got to make sure that everybody's staying on the same damn page.
Well, and that's why, number one, I try to take really good notes, both in our software system or in the file I try to put it in both places most of the times. But when Jeopardy brought that back to me, I immediately went and in person talked to Kyle. I said, here's the situation. He has literally asked for you to talk to him. So he's probably going to call your line. But here's what the conversation I had with him while you were out of the office was.
Yeah.
And again, document.
Yeah,
that was if you've ever been in education at all or in any sort of lawsuit, documentation is your friend.
No, that is
that's why it's great that our software system keeps track of when it was sent, when it was recent,
out.
I can pull it up, and I've had to do this a couple of times.
And I swear it did not used to be this bad with consumers.
And I think some
Say it, Chad.
too, and just with the email,
Happy Father's Day, man.
the email side of it,
Sorry,
like
Kate.
you're fine. Singularly is so many people like have either multiple emails because they get so inundated with newsletters and junk mail and stuff, that they're not actually checking their emails. So again, that's why we talk about, especially at the beginning of the year, we send a physical letter for prepays. I send it out an email. We put it on our social media. And obviously you're not going to do all of that with someone's invoicing. But my point is don't rely solely on your emails, even if it is a CRM system that's going to follow up like ours does.
Yeah,
Sends
that's
the
right.
automated emails. Get on the phone, send them a text. If you're not comfortable talking on the phone all the time, or you're too quote unquote busy to do that follow up, send a text.
Yeah.
Most people are going to see it and respond to it, or see it and leave it so they can respond to it later. But again, document how and when you're trying to communicate with your customers. Like even when someone, like today, one of our spray customers is in a long-term care facility, so he put his stuff on hold, and his nephew called to pay his last invoice because he was really concerned about getting it paid. And I was like, look, you're in the hospital, like it's okay. When I had talked to him. And so I took the credit card information, paid the invoice.
Was
and
that the Advent Washington?
Yeah. I said, does he still want to keep everything on hold? He's like, yeah, he's in a long-term care facility now. We're trying to figure out like what we're going to do about the house. Just keep everything paused. And I put those notes in the system.
Yeah, then you got it. Mike, to Mike's point, Mike said he had a spray customer that had his mow only guy, somebody, okay, convince him that there was bad seed used.
And I feel like we've had that a couple of times.
Yeah. Well,
maybe not like with the seed per se, but with either the apps or the mowings at the wrong height or whatever.
Well, that's why we just keep seed tags. Here's the seed that we used. That's just the easiest thing to do. Is here's the seed we used. And a lot of times, we'll put that on their invoicing.
In our proposal that they sign, I can't remember the exact language, but we have something in there that basically says like results are not guaranteed. All we can guarantee is that we're putting it down correctly, we're putting down the right rate, and we're putting down a high quality product.
Yeah.
After that, especially if you're not with us for any other services, that's all we can guarantee.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. All we can do is guarantee that we did the job professionally. And I think that's how our proposal states it.
Yeah.
As our guarantee is we're doing it with trained professional people, state of the art equipment,
and shout out too to you all, you and Kyle and Chad and everybody in here at Corky when he was here and just answering my questions, because I'm not in the field. So I have some knowledge, and I've definitely acquired more knowledge over the years just being in here and around it.
But dealing with it.
Yeah. And Stephen West, he answers questions when I have random questions about anything,
Stephen, as a matter of fact, he just sent the text. He says he used to hate sending text. He says, but however, it gives you a good record of what's been said.
Yeah, a very good definitive record for sure.
Yeah.
And it seems tedious sometimes, but you're going to thank yourself for the documentation when it becomes necessary.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's one of those things that doesn't matter till it matters. And that's the reality of it too. So have the documentation we even track like when we're collecting money, hey, we called the customer, no answer, called the customer,
left a voicemail,
the dates. So then they can't, well, nobody called me, well, no, here's our call log.
And sometimes you'll get, oh, well, that's not my current email, or, oh, that's not my right number. Well, that's fine. But like, after a while, didn't you think, oh, I'm not getting anything from them anymore? Like maybe I should reach out and let them know something's changed.
Something's a little different here. Oh, Lord. Aaron said this is the time of year he gets more complaints than any.
Yeah.
I can believe that. Because we're in the time of the year where you're past the spring push. And that depends on service too.
Yeah.
But, like in the spring or early spring, it's always a spring push of weeds at first.
Yeah. For us, it's like that in between rounds 1 and 2 time frame.
Yes.
where if
Yeah.
someone was early on round 1 and then the weeds start popping up, well, and
Before we've got to round 2 on them.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's why we got what we call a fire list. Now we
Well,
just
like you said, like we've told Daniel, squeaky wheel gets the grease or whatever
Yeah.
the saying is. Like sometimes people aren't complaining to complain, but they're complaining because they feel like the only way they'll get heard and get done is if they complain.
if they yeah.
And like
But
credit to Daniel for
right.
handling his door situation with as much.
He was much more
Patient.
patient on
I
that.
told him he was definitely channeling Jane there
Yeah.
because the rest of us would have been much more.
I would have been a lot
firm.
different, especially on that call this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. To say the least.
Let me give you a high 1 and you can decide what finger I'm using,
Yeah. Yeah. It's certainly.
And it's raining.
God, rain. That kid can't get a break. I hope
maybe,
it ain't raining.
Maybe it's not raining.
Maybe it's not raining out there where he lives.
Or wherever he is.
Yeah.
That's right. Ish.
Yeah, no, that's it, Fern Creek. Yeah. But Fern Creek.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Mike asked if he got his cake. The lady that brings the cake, I guess.
I think it was right before Kyle went on vacation is when they came in last.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you asked Kyle if they wanted those chairs, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
6 months later.
Mike said they should set a canopy up over it so he get his door done. That's what Mike, that is exactly
100% Mike.
What Daniel said. He said, man, I've got a 10 by 10 easy up thing set up on my deck,
Yeah, there's no reason it shouldn't get done today.
He said, no, the cake for the door being late. Oh, yeah, he should get something.
Yeah, he should get something for sure.
But I don't know.
Daniel's all still good in the hood.
It is pouring, raining.
Oh,
so
God.
that's not good. But they do have my door completely off, so they're to the point of no return. So
Yeah.
I have to
They'll wait on the
do
rain.
something.
Woo-hoo! Mike just sent us a text, said what you said, Daniel. He said Daniel should go set a canopy up over the door for him.
Yeah.
I said, yeah.
I mean, Daniel's to the point where he was about ready to offer someone room and board just so they were there to get the job done.
Yeah.
Actually, he was to the point he was thinking of selling his house.
Yeah, that's true too.
It's always on the table.
Please switch your office.
Anybody interested in a 5-bedroom, 2-story home?
Yeah, very open floor plan, Dave.
Very open floor plan.
Literally open.
What do they call that? I think there's a name for like a open, not a veranda. That's not what I'm looking for, but it's some sort of like architectural name for like a room that has like a literal like no door on it. And
oh God, I don't know.
it's like leads out to like a garden or like a overlook or something. I can't remember what it's called.
I bet you'll see some of those when you go to France.
There is one in our hotel room. I think we might have one in our room. Or
a room that has no door is often called an alcove or a nook.
No, that wasn't it. I think it was something with an L, maybe.
A vestibule or an antechamber.
No.
Huh.
The antechamber of secrets.
Oh my God, here we go again.
This is riddles. What kind of room has no doors or windows?
Let
me see if
air
I know
room.
The answer.
No doors or windows.
The outside.
Someone said a Roomba.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Let's see. This is on Reddit, and everything's blocked out. How am I supposed to get the answer?
Now we'll never know. Does anyone have the answer?
Someone said I read this on a popsicle stick when I was 6.
Oh my God.
Mike said he thinks it's called homeless.
My God.
Oh,
my God.
Room with no doors or windows.
I don't know.
No closet.
That's a good
Question is, how do you build? You'd have to build the room, and then
I've got a joke. I got a joke for Caitlin you can use on her that I found last night.
Oh, this goes back to Dad's joke.
The
cactus.
mushroom.
What kind of room has no doors or windows? A mushroom.
Oh my God, isn't that cute?
There you go. Add that to your dad jokes.
I got another dad joke for all you fathers out there. Da, 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 here it comes. Why does a nurse carry a red crayon?
Because
Is it funny or like?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It ain't like the mark out where they died or nothing. You know, not to do a what they call a silhouette of where you're laying when you.
Oh yeah.
That's white anyway.
You know what's humbling? Having a toddler draw your outline because they don't get close to you. You know what I mean? So you end up just looking like a blob with like barely T-Rex on. It's like, okay, it's
So why does a nurse carry a red crayon? You can do this on Caitlin tonight.
Because the blue one was too depressing.
No, in case they got to draw blood.
oh my God.
Dun, 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 dun.
We need a badun-dun thing. Put it on the board.
You just
the
record saying it and I'll put it there.
Okay, put it on.
Sorry.
Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy.
That's gonna be the new style.
Yes, indeedy. That's what we need. One
Yes,
of those. Indeedy. My God, we went over 15
I
minutes.
know that's because we're off the rails.
That's okay. I don't think Darren was coming on today.
Well, he
well-
probably would have texted you and said, "Get
Well,
off,
yeah, get
man."
off the radio. But
He might still be on his cruise or whatever from last night he was going on. His
do what? Yeah.
late night boat ride.
Here's something fun that happened this week. I think it was this week, right? I was looking at a job. Someone called to ask if they had paid, and its completion date was 2026. And that really effed me up the rest of the day.
Oh.
Remember? Wasn't that
Yeah.
this week?
Oh yeah.
One day.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't
For
sure
a
the
year
date
ahead.
because I was already in 2026, and it was just the whole thing.
Yeah. You know, we talk about
And Daniel said, "Look at your watch," and my watch was dead because I'd lost my watch charger. So he's
This
like,
is
"Will you
like-
have a phone?" I was like, "But
what's
it's
that
over there."
thing where it's like a series of events.
And a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, that wasn't that a show or something?
It was a book
series.
and then turned
Yeah.
into a movie with I think Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of
Hey.
you know how you're talking about movies coming back and stuff. Obviously, Final Destination came back.
oh, is
I
it
did
on
not
now?
go see that one. Yeah, Alyssa went with a couple of our friends when I went up to get my hair
I
cut.
don't like that. I tried watching it.
For me, it's like the jump scare things. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's like people getting caught in
Spooky,
elevators.
creepy, I'm
Did the
okay.
guy get run over by a lawnmower? One of them was a guy getting running over himself with his lawnmower.
I don't remember. I think Alyssa said that was like a Philly fake out,
No.
but it led to something
Trailer.
else. Yeah. Let's see.
It could have been a cut scene.
And
too.
you might not remember this one. It was a little more my generation than yours, but I Know What You Did Last Summer. Do you remember that?
Yeah, is that about the kids watching The Neighbor?
No. It's
Yeah.
where they
I know what
They-
I know what you did, and I know who you are. That's a crazy one.
That's like
That's a crazy one.
Disturbia.
the Serbia. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and she
Is that-
she
Yeah.
Is that Jessica Alba?
No.
Who's with him?
It's a young actress. It wouldn't be like anybody like big that
Okay.
we knew.
I'm pretty sure she was pretty big.
We want me to look it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Megan Fox was in Transformers. but
Yes. But then and the one I was
God, Mike just sent us something crazy.
I Know What
y'all.
You Did Last Summer is coming back, and some of the original cast members that survived the 9 movies, to your point, that have come out since.
Thanks, Chris.
We know.
We did too.
It was.
I did too.
As soon as you left, they came and got that scooter, like literally like 3 minutes after.
Mike said that the ceiling fell in at the theater of Final Destination. He said no.
Send us a link to a
He
news
said
article, or we
he
don't
thinks
believe
he
you.
killed somebody. He said he's
But,
not
like-
joking. Google it.
You
And
Google it.
Chris
You
said
send
it
us the
happened.
link,
Chris
Mike.
said
You
it.
have time to Google your stuff. Her name was Sarah
That's
Romer.
wild.
Damn.
I don't
Yeah,
think she
Chris
would've-
said that did happen.
the blonde. Maybe
Wow.
it's something else.
no.
That's
Badgley or whoever
crazy.
you was in a movie called The Stepfather or something like that.
You know what book we read in 6th grade that was creepy?
Oh, God.
Was Babysitter, I think is what it's called, or The Babysitter or something like that. And it was pretty creepy. Recommend it. It's pretty good.
Was it like
Read it. Good.
just weird or?
No, it was like a murder thing.
Oh,
If you want a fun movie for Father's Day, it's called The Stepfather.
Ooh,
Huh.
what's the movie with Mark Wahlberg and
Four Brothers.
No.
Oh,
I mean, I guess it could have some, but that's more like a Mother's Day movie. What's the movie with Mark Wahlberg and it's pretty new, like newish. There's 2, I think now. Daddy's Home or something like that.
Yes, I think I know what you're talking about. That might be what it's called. Hang
Huh.
on, I'm looking up Mark Wahlberg. He's also in Instant Family, which is really funny.
Oh, I saw
Yeah,
that.
Daddy's Home and Daddy's Home too.
That's where they went out and adopted the 2 or 3 kids.
Instant Family.
It's-
is,
that's
yeah.
a-
We watched that last weekend or something.
Daddy's Home is where he comes back after whatever, and it's pretty good. I can't remember. Is it? It's not Will Ferrell, is it?
In
I
Daddy's
think
home?
it is.
Is it?
Hang on, I'm trying to find it
someone like
again.
that, but I couldn't remember.
In Daddy's home?
Here's
Yeah.
Daddy's Home 2. Let me see. Yeah, Will Ferrell is in that. And Daddy's Home 2 is Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, Mel Gibson.
Huh. Stone Cold,
Goldberg?
Cena.
John
Oh,
Cena. As soon as you did this, I knew that. He did the hand in front of the face. You can't see me.
You're talking about. You just can't see him.
You just can't see him over.
I used to when kids wore camo to school, I would be like, "Oh my God, where's so and so?"
Jesus Christ.
And this is high schoolers, you guys. This is high
I'm sure they were
schoolers.
just like
They were like, "You're an idiot," but it was funny. Me and my like neighbor across the hall teacher would just pretend and be stupid with them, but it was funny.
God, look at that truck that one did go over the bridge, man.
yeah.
I just
Or the
told ya.
embankment. I know, but that's
Wouldn't that suck if you were on your way to work? I mean, obviously, it sucks mostly for that person.
that
Let me
guy.
let me just clarify. It sucks most first and foremost for that person.
Well,
yeah.
also, if someone else got killed because of that, it would suck more for them. I feel like because
Yes.
it wasn't their fault. Like,
Correct.
it wasn't their thing.
right,
They were just like a
existing.
bystander, whatever.
Final Destination
What
AF
is it
right there.
called whenever it's like a war and they say there's casualty. You're kind
Casualty
of like a
of-
casualty.
The accident. What was I going to say?
God.
Something about Mark Wahlbergers.
This is something. Well, I mean, that's a guy. They're talking now
That's
about
like
the guy that
philosophical.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep.
survived the air crash over in India. I think it was yesterday, where there were like 240 plus
Yeah, I
people.
saw that
on
they
it.
were headed to London.
And
He said, as soon as I opened my eyes, I knew I was alive.
they crashed slow, though. They said they like it's. Did you? They show the video of it on the news. They never. Yeah, it weren't like they got way up and crashed. They had just taken off and they just couldn't get altitude.
Mm.
And they said they were falling not fast at like 500 feet a minute. So it wasn't. It was a slow decline down.
I've heard
That's almost worse. Like I think in my mind I would be hopeful. Okay, we're not moving fast, so we might be okay. But then the other side is like, great. I'm thinking about dying the whole way.
yeah.
That guy walked away from it. Everybody else was killed, but he walked away from the
That's
crash.
some Final Destination shit. He needs to go live in a box.
He had
that
a
is
window thing. I
surveillance.
really
Well, no,
think it
here's
was
the
like
thing.
row 12 or 13
I thought about that too because he's either like that
He-
or he's
no,
going
he
to
was
be
on
like
the
I'm
window.
invincible.
toward
Yeah.
the front.
Because if you survive that out of no one else, like you must be thinking
11A,
like something
ladies,
like
11A,
or you
our
Yeah.
our production
What
department.
they
There's-
need to figure out in that plane is why he survived and then do that to every seat.
Yeah.
Like
The plane it broke apart. They said right about where he was at for some reason. So, Mike said that's why he's never
Yeah.
been on a plane and why he's not going to the beach.
okay. I still like you could go to the beach. Just don't fly.
You should go to the beach. Wayne drives to the beach all the time. Kyle drives.
Yeah,
I feel like Mike, we need to have
I
some
think
therapy
he's
about
thinking
this.
about sharks.
His love
Okay,
language
maybe
is the
sharks.
beach trip.
It seems like, but he plays hockey, so he's not adverse to like
Yeah.
risk.
Pain
Right. That's
and
true.
risk. Yeah,
Maybe he likes to control the risk. Like,
Maybe.
yeah. Be in
control
control of
cars.
his own.
Yeah. You can't control sharks.
Steven says if he's in a plane crash, I want to be going as fast as I can.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna, die, I
Don't
want it to be
burn
quick.
alive.
So you don't
Please,
feel it.
like take me instantly.
Mike said he's never been.
To the beach.
Yeah,
Wow.
scared of sharks, I guess.
But there's so much more to do at the beach.
Next year, you should
The-
go to the Green River Lake State Park beach.
There you go. There's only one confirmed shark there.
Yeah, and one alligator.
Yeah.
And a bear
Oh, well,
Ain't
I'm
a
never
bear.
coming back.
down in Campbellsville.
Mike, you can take my once a year spot.
It's
Yeah.
the dog named Bear,
Anyways.
guys.
Oh,
All right, well,
thank
we're
God.
way over time here. We're
There's been a
gonna.
bear there though.
Daniel,
Well, like in the region, like in the, not at
I know,
the
but he
campground,
said
but like
the dog named Bear, and then he said, but there has been a bear there.
A real bear at the dam. They videoed it at the dam.
I don't know if it was actually at the dam, but in the
We were having
At
a
the park.
picnic at the dam.
Okay, see, this is why you can't.
It was a bear claw. No, it really was a black
the
bear.
bear
It was
in-
one of the back
there was
bears.
a bear in Bardstown. And
yeah,
I think it was the
black
same
bear.
man that probably like
It wasn't a
Did
brown
you
bear.
remember the zebra that got loose in Tennessee last week?
Yeah. Oh my God, that was so funny. And they catch it.
Yeah.
Tabitha was funny. And she says, "Look, the zebra was just trying to have a mental health day, and then they fly it across the
In
air."
the wilderness,
Poor
aka
thing.
suburbia.
Can't even-
Speaking of that zebra, I heard a quote. It was pretty good.
You said Ebra.
It said, and has nothing to do with zebras in general, but pretty good for maybe like a profit time thing. It said, if you hear hooves, don't assume it's a zebra. So just think about that.
But this time it was for those
Yes.
people in Tennessee.
In Tennessee.
What should you assume it is?
Assume the most likely
Well,
thing.
it's like
if you
Judge
hear
Judy.
hooves and you're in America,
Don't think it's a zebra behind you because literally outside of that event, there are zero chances of it being a zebra.
Oh,
like go with the most likely.
Like the rabbits in the parking lot. You're going to see a rabbit every once in a while in a parking lot, but
now that's a good example. I understand that.
It's the same thing.
Let's wrap. We're going to wrap our show up on one last weird story.
okay.
And this has to do with people thinking they're fully insured. Okay. We've had that discussion both in the profit circle and whatnot. But Caitlin, Daniel's fiance, was telling us a story. A girl she works with was on the way home the other day, and she pulled up behind somebody at a red light. They were all stopped.
This would be Katie almost. I could see this happening to you.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, you really. I'll drive you home today.
Or just
Well, Katie wouldn't have her windows down because it's
windows
hot
rolled
out.
up. Yeah.
Oh, the cicada?
Yeah, so the windows were rolled down. A cicada flew in their car into her hair, and so she's trying to beat it out. Well, while she's beating her hair out, trying to get it off, her foot came off.
No. It came out of her hair onto like her lap and her seat basically. So she went like this,
Moved her legs.
and she was at a stoplight.
Oh my God, she rear-ended the car.
Rear-ended. It floated into.
Thank God. At least she didn't accidentally hit the gas.
Yeah, well, here's what really happened. Freaking Ask Gary happened. So there's 4 people in the car. 2 ended up with concussions. 1 had whiplash.
4 hours
Now
in the
they-
emergency room, and now
2 hours. 2
hours.
Somehow
That's
they
4
had 2
people.
hours in the emergency room with 4 people, and they all got diagnosed with something.
Yeah,
Have you ever been to the freaking emergency room and not sat there for more than 2
Right.
hours?
Especially with a non-life-threatening injury
Yeah.
like that. Wow.
yeah, and I just rolled into them, but 2 of them had concussions, and 1 of them had a whiplash, and yeah,
They got that Ask Gary money.
God bless America.
Yeah, true that. Speaking of God bless America, you guys, hey, everybody have a great weekend.
Make good choices.
Make good
Eat
choices.
Nathan's if you're gonna eat hot dogs.
Yep. Get the Nathan's wieners if you're going to roast
Go
a dog
all
this
out for
weekend.
Dad.
Happy
Yep.
Father's Day to
Give
everybody
up the dogs.
for sure. And let's see what we got here for. We don't want to hang up on somebody. We just got Mike said that's the problem.
Sharks. We're not being in control.
I don't know.
Can you clarify?
Can you clarify?
We'll get
Mike?
off the air, but can you clarify for us?
We'll answer your question off the air. Oh my God, this has been definitely a robust edition of Off the
Profit.
Rails Profit Time.
We
Mike
call this-
says they got Morgan and Morgan. Yeah, they're
The
national.
hammer.
Yeah.
He's right here in our backyard.
He's right here in the backyard. Oh, no, no.
I saw him at Target once.
Did you?
He's really
God.
short.
Oh, he is
Yeah.
short. Yeah. Yeah.
The hammer.
Everybody is Sue happy. You're right, Mike. That is the damn truth. So,
Especially Sue.
but
I
Sue,
feel bad for Karens and
Sue's.
Sue's and Kevin.
just I'm gonna let this out. I'm gonna do it. I wasn't gonna let this out of the bag
He's
yet,
flatulating.
but I'm gonna let it out of the bag about something new that's coming.
Oh God.
Something new that's coming from Wayne and Daniel on
You know what it
on
is?
Profits Unlimited and our Profit Time, and coming out for the Profit
Sure.
Circle. We're gonna do some really neat things video wise. So you all stay tuned.
I wasn't really letting anything out of any bag.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll let it out.
What you wearing Wednesday? That's our new thread.
That's that. Yeah.
Tune in Monday to find out what we're revealing.
What we're,
I'll
yeah,
work
we'll
with
do
you.
that. What we're revealing.
You apparently.
Yeah, everybody's going to play. All right. Now they're making fun. So I'm feeling,
The love.
Normal.
Yeah, back to normal. Here we go.
maybe so, Mike. Maybe so. That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea, too. But,
What is?
anyways, Mike's idea. He said, I can't tell you.
That's a good idea.
That's
What is
fine.
the next idea?
We'll
Honestly,
keep that right here, Mike, between you and I.
you know me. I'll sleep just fine at night.
Oh, yeah. Katie just says, I don't care, and it's all good. So, but anyways, hey, you guys have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day if it's appropriate. And even if it's not appropriate, happy Father's Day to everybody. Appreciate you listening to Turfs Up Radio.
Farters Day.
Appreciate you listening to Profit Time on our Off the Rails extended version today for 91 minutes and 12 seconds. We certainly do appreciate you spending your life with us today. Stay dry, stay safe, and remember, profit is not a dirty word. We'll see you guys Monday.